Hi, this is Atlas. We adopted Atlas a few months ago from the local animal shelter. He's a little over a year old, mixed breed, German Shepherd. We're pretty sure he got in there. We said he's got a little bit of Husky in him. But he's lived in a kennel for a good chunk of his life, and we live out in the country. So there's a lot of things he's got to learn and understand while being out in this type of an environment. And I never thought this, but a dog collar has literally changed our family's life. Let me tell you more about this.
Okay, let's go.
Hi, I'm Chris with Gadgets and Gravel. This is the Halo 4 dog collar. It looks chunky, it's a little big, a little bulky looking. Sorry, but it is for good reason. This dog collar, you may have heard a lot about it. You may have seen some things about it, some ads for it going around, but this dog collar lives up to the hype. It genuinely has done things for our family to help us adapt to a new dog, to help our new dog adapt to us. Like I said, being an adoption dog, he's never lived outside of a yard or contained area. And so when we adopted him and brought him out to our property, freedom, he's loved it. And that's great. However, that meant that there were some challenges that we're gonna have to deal with because we wanna keep him safe. We wanna make sure he stays with us as a family. And so we're searching for ways to help with that. We looked at doing different kinds of in-ground fences, invisible fences, where you set up a little device and it kind of broadcasts the range. But we wanted to be able to track him in case he ran off. So we wanted GPS. We wanted to have some sort of correction method to help him learn areas that he's okay to be in. But on top of all of that, we wanted a system that allows us to travel with him. We like to go camping and go do things like that and go visit family members. And we want to be able to take him with us and make sure he stays safe in that area. And the Halo 4 dog collar does all of that and does it very, very well. So let's dive into some of the things that you get with this collar and why I think it may be a great fit for your dog. Halo 4 dog collar, as you may guess, is their 4th generation dog collar. They've partnered and worked with a famous dog trainer and dog psychologist, Cesar Millan. And with the collar, it's doing things outside of just, being a collar to notate that the dog is owned by somebody. It is doing things to help train your dog, help keep your dog safe, and keep it in your property. So the Halo 4 dog collar has got a kind of a nice rubber, thick, heavy-duty rubber strap. It's very long, so when it comes in the box, it is fit for a very large dog. Atlas is, like I said, he's a little over a year old, he's about a year and a half old now. He's part German Shepherd, part Husky, and who knows whatever else is in there. He's about a medium-sized dog. He's about 50 pounds, and we adjusted this down to this size. Like I said, it's very long. You can just cut it, and they come with these replacement little metal tips to kind of make sure you got a good finished edge and it doesn't tear or start to fray anything, so you can make sure you get a good finish on it, so it fits your dog properly. You don't have a lot of extra strap flapping around and causing issues. Kind of a traditional clasp here, nothing crazy about that. We do have some rivets here that are threaded, so you can, if you had to adjust something or something broke, you can just swap the strap out entirely for a new one. And those are things that you can buy on the Halo website, replacement straps and clips. The covers just comes right off here. It's just a Velcro canvas type cover that covers up and kind of helps protect the main actual unit of the collar from getting scratched up and dinged and beat up and things like that. The cover comes in 5 different colors. This is the gray or slate, I'm not sure what they call it, but I'm gonna put up a list of all the specs and all the numbers for sizes and weights and all that kind of stuff up here on the side of the screen so you can pause it and follow along. There's a single button here, rubberized button, press and a couple of different indicator lights to kind of let you know power status and connection status as far as location and things like that. Because when we say location, this thing has GPS built into it. It actually works with 6 different bands over 150 satellites and allows you very precise location tracking and creation. I'll talk about the creation in a moment. So inside of that, you got GPS, it's got Bluetooth, it's got Wi-Fi, it's got LTE. So it's got all the connections your phone has. It has, on the back, 2 points, and it comes with 2 sets of these prongs or pegs here in different lengths. And it also comes with a set of rubber blanks. Depending on the size of your dog and the hair your dog has, you may need the longer pegs rather than the shorter pegs. It kind of depends on your setup. And hopefully, once your dog becomes acclimated to its area and its surroundings, you no longer need the static shock, because that is what this is going to be doing. The static correction is less of a shock and more just kind of a really, it almost emits a vibration like a touch. Now, does it feel good? No, it does not feel good. And there are multiple levels to adjust it to keep your dog safe and not injure your dog, but help it learn where it's supposed to be. But once it's learned its area, ideally you can take these off, and the collar still vibrates and has a noise, so it can make whistles and talk to them and things like that. So ideally you can get to the point where you remove these entirely and just have the rubber blanks so your dog can still be safe in its area. But that's the collar. It's a pretty unassuming collar. It is bulky, it is a little bit large. It's IP67 water and dust resistant. So your dog can go swimming, play around out in the dust and the dirt and everything, and without any problems. We took our dog, he's been to the ocean, he's been to ponds, he's been playing all over the place, wearing his collar, no issues at all. So fantastic there. Let's dig into some of the technology that this collar has, because it's pretty good. The Halo Collar 4 is packed with technology. As you might guess, with this large box on the collar, it's gonna have some stuff going on in it that's gonna help train your dog. Like I said, we've got GPS with over 150 satellite connectivity, 6 different bands, so it's very, very accurate, very quick to pick up a signal. That's one thing I've been super impressed with. You've got Wi-Fi, you got Bluetooth, you have LTE. So no matter where you or your dog is, they should have some sort of connection to data and be able to get location to tell you they're safe where they're at, or keep them within the contained area that you set up. With that, battery, it gets up to 30 hours of battery life. I've had no issues with battery running out or having any issues with that in terms of unexpectedly running low on battery and running out and causing issues. So it's done great with that. Charging is really simple. It's got a little magnetic puck that clips onto here, sticks on very, very well, charges it up, good to go. No issues there. But with all of that, the technology inside of this, with that excellent location data from the GPS satellites, the app is going to let you just draw on the app. You don't have to do it like you walk around and draw the map while you walk around. You use that for location. It's just as simple as setting the location, hit go, and literally draw your map how you want it. We'll dig in a little bit more of that on the app side of things, but that's as simple as it is. You literally just draw your app. You can do it, or draw your fence in the app. You can do up to 5 different fences. So that's what's really cool. That's one of the things I really, really like about this, is because I have our home map, so we keep them safe here. But when we travel and go to friends' places or go camping, we can create just a virtual fence around that area and take him with us, and we don't have to worry about him wandering off and getting in trouble or getting lost or something bad happening. It's really great. Like it literally has changed how we manage our dog and our lives with our animal, because we can let him out of the house, let him stay out all day long, let him play all he wants, and we know that he's staying safe, he's staying where he's supposed to be. He's starting to learn. We have fewer incidents of him trying to exit the boundary, so he's learning, the collar is working. It's been great so far, so that's been wonderful. So let's dig into the app so I can show you how that works and what you can get out of using the app. The Halo app is a nice app. It isn't overly cluttered or overly complex. However, some of the things may be kind of confusing to find. Small text makes it difficult to see that it's something you're supposed to click on, or is it a click, is it a scroll? So there's just some user things that could be cleaned up in the app, but outside of that, it's a really great app with tons of information, and it's really helpful in managing your pet's location, training, and things like that. It's a good place to kind of keep all that in. So let's kind of get in here. Once you load up the app, you're gonna add your pet. You're gonna go through, you're gonna add, what kind of animal it is, the breed if you know it, the weight, things like that. You're gonna add all that into here, and Halo's gonna use some of that in some of its creating a profile for your animal and how it kind of does some of the correction things. So once that's done, you're gonna be able to set your fence up. Now, setting fences is really, really fun and easy to do. So in there, you're going to hit add a fence, and with that, so let's just say we're gonna put one here in this park in the little area I live. So you can either have the satellite screen, or you can go to your standard mapping screen, and you're going to create your fence. Super easy. Once it's done, so now you've got your area that you can work in. So we're gonna edit the fence and make some adjustments here. So it automatically just kind of did the whole block because it can recognize that this is a park and this is the area we're going to keep it within the streets and everything. So it does it automatically. If I was putting it at my house, it's just going to put a square right in the middle of where I started it, and I'll adjust it from there. So same idea here. So you see right in the middle of this slashed blue lines, with diagonal blue lines, that says that the app has recognized that there's a building there. And so it's going to treat that differently than the rest of the areas. If I drag my line down into it, you see that now that we've got red lines, so we can't be able to put a fence through a building or on a building. So that's going to be a non-set area. Same idea here. So if I drag it up and cross the road, the app recognizes there's a road there, and these are areas that you don't want your pet to go. So it's really helpful in helping you create your fence to keep your animal safe. But once it's all set up, you save it and you're done. You can go in there and you'll see the red area is danger zone, the area your animal is not supposed to be in. The kind of thicker, transparent yellow line, that is the warning area. So as it approaches that boundary, it's gonna start getting a warning. There's gonna be some vibrations and some audible cues to say, hey, you're getting close where you shouldn't be, get your dog's attention. This is not a fun area to turn around. If it continues to go and it reaches that solid yellow line, that's when you get the static correction. There's two different levels. There's the initial level. It's gonna give your dog a quick little jolt and say, hey, really stop and keep going. That's when it gets a little more serious. If your dog does leave the area and continue out into the no-go zones, then it's gonna continue to get some warning. So can you get the vibrations, trying to get it to stop and break its habit, return back to the safe area where you're at, hopefully. If it continues going, Halo has enough information. They've been doing this for a long time. This is their 4th generation collar, that they've got enough information to know the dog is moving away from the safe area. So as it continues to move away, it will get static correction to break its concentration and get its focus to return back to where it needs to be. As soon as the collar or the system recognizes that the dog's changed directions and is heading back to the safe zone, it'll stop that and give it encouragement, because that is an option you set up in here as well. So tell good job or whistles, however you set that up. So let it know it's doing a good job by going back. Once that's done, you're set. You're ready to go. You're able to see on the fence line edges if there's been a correction method. So you can set up how many methods or how many correction moments you want to maintain and keep showing you. I have mine set at 5. And so it'll show you where it happened on the boundary, the type of correction that it required, and the time that it happened. So it's really, really neat. You can see where areas that your animal keeps trying to leave. And so that's an area you may want to go to and do some extra training and teaching your dog, hey, this is not a good area, so it'll stop going there. And so ideally, over time, you'll get fewer pings on that boundary because your dog's learning, hey, we just don't go over there, we'll just stay in the area. And that's a great thing. So it's really cool. You can see that history, the type of correction and everything. It's really, really helpful. If you decide to go on a walk with your dog, it's really nice. You just hit walk at the bottom, click walk, and it is going to disable the correction things on it. It's the tracking and alerts, and the tracking it's going to do is more in a fitness tracker style. So it'll actually keep track of it all for you, how long you've gone for your walk, where you've gone, all this stuff. It's really cool. So it's something you'd also use if you are going to be going, leaving the area. If you're taking your pet and you're going to go on a trip or go to the vet or whatever, and you leave the collar on, you want to make sure you set that so it doesn't get buzzed or worse when you're in the car. Done that, it's not good. I feel terrible. So once it's done, it's all set. You're good to go. There's your walk. You're all good. You got Learn, where you can go through and walk through fittings and different ways to help train your dog. Notifications is going to tell you all the different feedback moments that have happened. Settings, you go through here and make your adjustments as you need to the plan and the collar. That's it. Pretty cool. Let's dig into some of the things I'm not a big fan of with this collar. There's few things that I don't like about the Halo 4 collar. I'm not a big fan of the size. It's kind of bulky and kind of big, especially with a smaller dog. It could be an issue. It's gonna be super uncomfortable. Our dog Atlas, he doesn't mind. He's acclimated to it. He doesn't really care. He runs around. Doesn't bother him at all. The things I don't like mainly jog into the app. Like I said, it's a little bit confusing to use. Sometimes it takes some learning to get used to it. Sometimes I'll jump in there and forget where something's at myself. So, but I wish I could set up manually create a no-go zone. I haven't figured out a way to do that. I've reached out and haven't heard back. There's sometimes there's an area in my yard, maybe I put up a pool and I want to make sure my dog stays away from that pool. I want to be able to create a no-go area right there, say not to go there. We've got some chickens and some ducks, and we've had some issues lately, and I'd like to create a no-go area around that section to make sure that he doesn't go over there. So I'd like to be able to do things like that. We have had one instance where the GPS was wrong, and it thought our dog was outside of a boundary or near a boundary. That was not a fun moment. I was very upset about that. He was not even close to the edge. He was in the center of an area. Thankfully, we were home and happened to be outside around him when it happened. He started yelping and running around. We couldn't figure out what was happening. We thought he got stung by a bug or bit by something, and we quickly learned it was the collar. We got it off of him really quickly, looked at the app, and the app sure enough showed him outside of the boundary area, 200 feet away from where we were. Within a couple of seconds, it corrected and put it back where he was. One-time glitch out of, we've been using this for a month. We've got hours and hours and hours of use with this and never had an issue with it until that. So one-time issue, hopefully it was just a weird glitch and we are back to being the great collar that it has been. Other than that, I really don't have any issues with it. Is that one glitch, the no-go areas, and that's really it. Otherwise, it's pretty great. Should you get the Halo collar? I don't know. It depends on you and your dog. If your dog, if you've got an animal that you're wanting to work with, staying in a contained area, you don't have a fenced yard, you got a large area, you want to travel with your dog. Maybe your dog is fine at home, but you want to travel with your animal and be able to let it run around in certain areas. This is gonna be a good option for that because it lets you create virtual fences wherever you are. Now the big catch is the price. This is not a cheap piece of hardware. It full price retails at about $600. There's typically sales I've seen it come across at down to $550 or $575. So you normally don't find a lot of big discounts on it. But again, a lot of, paying for a dog trainer, an in-ground fence, an above-ground fence, however you're gonna set that up, you're still looking at hundreds of dollars. The convenience of this and the ease of use and the flexibility, to me, outweighs that. So if you're considering those options, this may be a better choice depending on your personal needs and your personal requirements. On top of the cost of this, there's also a subscription requirement. That's covering, the data, the app, the things like that you normally would have to pay a subscription for another system, but it's also covering the LTE. So like I said, this does have cellular, so if your dog is outside and you're somewhere where Wi-Fi isn't gonna be available, you're gonna want that. You cannot choose another option, you have to use what they have. So that is the other bummer. But again, you're paying for a service that protects your animal and gives you and your family peace of mind. To me, it's worth it. Again, my situation may not be the same as yours. But anyways, outside of that, yeah, it's a great collar. Like, I highly recommend it to all my friends who have animals out here that live out in the country, do traveling. I recommend it to all of them. It's a fantastic device. It works well, minus the one glitch, but it's quick, it's easy to set up, it works. And I know it sounds like I'm being a bit dramatic, but it literally has changed our family's life and how we manage our dog, how our dog's life, what he gets to do, the freedom he gets. This collar has literally changed all of that. I can't recommend Halo 4 enough. If your situation fits it, check it out for sure. Stick around, we've got tons of videos coming up. Like, subscribe, do all the things so you don't miss anything. It helps the channel. And I've got tons of videos coming up with lots of new products that I'm really excited about. So thanks, stick around.
Okay, let's go.